There is always competitors. There is always competitors. One competitor to everything is for your customer to do nothing. You need to convince them whether they should buy your stuff. Even if you think you're so unique, there's nothing that competes. That is a competitor. How do you get them to buy? But there is always alternative solutions to your problem. How they do it today. And that's your competitors. Swedes has a tendency to sort of say that if no one does it exactly like us, we don't have a competitor. That's not how the market works. And I don't know why that is here in Sweden, that you see that thinking a lot. If that's something that comes out of our business schools, when you look at competitors and stuff, but you really need to look at how people are solving that specific problem today. And you will find there are a lot of solutions that are doing it another way than you think you want to do it. And that's your competitors. Very important. Very important. And this, I think, is the classic one. Come back to this speed issue. So many times I hear this. They're over doing a business trip, and then at the end of the business trip, the family comes over and they go to Disneyland and Universal Studios, and they do all this in California, right? Or they go to London or spend a week, and that's fine. You know? But the thing is, nothing happens, and when they get back to Sweden, nothing happens either. So Americans expect that you follow up instantly. Because when you're in the sales process, if you're not attentive then, we all know that the attention drops down when you actually gotten the order and it's going to start deliver. And if you're not attentive when you're selling, I don't want to buy from you because I know that you're going to just forget me when I actually bought this stuff. And Americans are very attentive, you know, in the sales process. So for Swedes, this is a big, big negative. The follow-up happens 6 weeks later. Americans already forgotten you by now. You know, they've done a lot of other things. So this is really scary. This sort of, and I have a classic one where we had a company in the building industry where we had a meeting, the second largest builder in the United States, and they were excited about these energy efficient houses and all that stuff. So they said, well, we have a development with 150 houses we're going to build here, and we have these are the drawings. So take these drawings and then why don't you design a house to this and send us, you know, how that would be and the cost and all that stuff. Unfortunately, this meeting was the first week of December in the United States. They came home to Sweden, and then it was Lucia. And then, you know, it was all the julbords, and then it was Christmas. And then it was Phuket with the whole family. And then it suddenly was middle of January, and they still hadn't done it. And the Americans basically sent an email and said, well, since we haven't gotten anything, we forgot everything. So, this company were at that time building about 80,000 houses a year in the United States. And the Swedes just blow them off. Yeah. And then we have the presentation style, but you all know that. You know, you need to be a little emotional, you need to be a little personal when you do your spiel in front of customers. When you do your brochures, for instance, this is really interesting. When we do a product brochure in Sweden, we start explaining all the problems and how we were thinking and why and blah, 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 blah. And then at the last punchline is, you know, and this is why you're going to buy it. An American, it says, this is why you're going to buy it. And then all the stuff comes. So when you send out your Swedish brochures that you have had someone translate to English, the American loses interest after 2 paragraphs because, you know, why should I buy this? It sort of doesn't get through your material. Same thing on your website. So this is sort of interesting when you have people that say, I can translate this. Well, yeah, language-wise, but that doesn't translate into the culture. You really need to think this through and work through this, the whole presentation, material and style and everything. So this is global market, and your home market is not necessarily your geographic area anymore. It might be a virtual home market that exists a few customers around the world here and there, and that's your home market. And you need to be out there very, very quickly. This whole concept that you need to be strong in Sweden before you should go out, forget that. That was fine when we were manufacturing ball bearings in the early 1900s and so on. Yeah, absolutely. But today, where a lot more is knowledge-based, that is totally wrong. No, you need to be out there day one. If you have those aspirations to go global. You know, if you're fine with making a good living in Sweden, which you probably will do if you have a smart idea and so on, and very comfortable, you know, that's fine too. But if you want to go global and really want to attract people like John and Norman and me to invest in a company, you know, you need to be thinking in these big terms day one. So thank you. If you have any questions right now, otherwise we can take questions afterwards. But if you have something that you wonder about or something you think I was totally offline here, shouldn't really have that position, I'm glad to discuss that with you. Okay, John.
Let me shift this presentation over. Okay, let's jump right in. As Armin was mentioning, we're Innovateur Capital. That's probably the first time you've ever seen, unless you were here last time, the word Innovateur, first time it's ever been used. Innovation and entrepreneur squeezed together to make a new word. And we did protect it globally, and innovateur.com is how you learn more about us. We're a series of venture funds, and we'll talk quickly about what we do and how we do it. Last time I was here, there was an interesting slide, so I brought it up again. I had a lot of comments about it. Whenever I talk, and I do quite a bit all over the world, I like to create a very positive message, not a negative one. In our financial times, in particular here in Sweden, I'm noticing that people are talking about how bad things are. Things are very, very bad in the economies. Well, you know, these years are all associated with some of the most horrible financial crises and downturns in the world ever. And in particular 1930, 1932 that created the World Depression. But what most people don't realize is that almost within weeks after those depressions in those stock markets, the stock markets rebounded. And there was a tremendous amount of growth that happened as a result. It's like winter time, we always know springtime comes, and we've already experienced the upside in California. In California, we believe, and I certainly am a firm believer, that the bottom is already in and it's behind us. We felt really bad for over a year, and our government was not telling us, but we have been in a recession in California and the United States for over a year. The reality is, in the last few months, housing prices have gone back up slowly. In small businesses, which are the fiber of the United States, over 92% of all companies in the United States have 6 employees or smaller, and all of them have had increases in sales, which means that things are starting to turn around. How long it'll be before it happens here, I don't know. But as Göran mentioned, the world is very, very flat now. It's extremely fast in everything that happens, and the financial markets are adjusting quickly. January, you're going to see whether or not I'm a believer or not anymore in this whole idea that things are really changing. But my opinion is that they are, and you know, just watch. So there really is no gloom and doom, as I see it. Okay. What we do, you can read this if you like, but basically we're a venture firm that if you just read the highlighted words, we manage a family of boutique focuses venture funds. We act as an incubator. We still have been incubating companies for years. I'll tell you our history in just a few minutes, but we really do believe in the incubation model, whether it's within a building like here at Ideon, or whether it's without walls. We've been incubating companies for years. We also limit the activity to the highest quality companies. You know, we're investors. We can choose whoever we want to invest in, and we invest in the best companies only. At our firm, we can see as many as 2,000 companies a year and invest in roughly 24 to 27. Chances of getting money from people like us is slim. Okay? In fact, you might even be a basketball player with the NBA before you get money from someone like us. But you know, you need to know how to compete. I think is probably the most thing. And I'll tell you a little bit about that. And then we manage risk. One of the reasons that we've had investors with us for so many years is because considering the risk involved in investing in early stage companies, and many times we're the first money in,